Hi guys, Jurassic Junkie here, and I am in my Christmas pyjamas. I hope you all had a good crimbo. I've ate too much, as always, and I'm looking forward to the new year to start eating healthy again. But we're not here to talk about food, we're here to talk about computer games. So 2017 has been a very interesting year. It's been a bit of a more wild ride than I expected. I've got an extra console. I've kind of started playing more on other consoles than I expected. I started streaming this year, which then forced me down a rabbit hole of playing certain games I wouldn't normally play. Then I kind of fell in love with that genre. So it's been a very interesting year for me. But I just wanted to kind of do a recap video of my top 5 games, how much I've actually spent this year, and the top 3 consoles in what order they actually are. So before we dive into what I enjoyed the most gaming wise, I just wanted to talk about the actual gaming budget. This year, you can be able to see just here on jurassicjunkie.com, I decided to build in a very detailed database that I could actually import all the games that I've actually purchased, what console, if I've sold them, and just to actually get an idea how much money I spend, how much money I get back, and where it's actually going. I'm surprised how much I spent. I can honestly say that. So let's jump in with, first of all, how much I actually spent. I purchased 75 games this year, which is quite a lot, and that cost me £775.98, which is a lot more spent on game than I expected. Now granted, about 6 months, so halfway into the year, I started streaming on Twitch, which means I purchased extra games that I don't normally do. The start of the year, I was quite good with saying I'm only having 3 games at a time. I'll either complete it and sell it, or I give up on it, sell it. Obviously can't do that on digital, but the point is I only wanted to have 3 games on rotation at a time. So I'd have a multiplayer one with the friends, perhaps a single player one, and one that I'm tinkering with. So I never made sure that I went, oh, sale, I need to buy these 10 games, and then to sit there and never collect any. So I was quite good at the start of the year. Second half of the year, that went out the window, because when I see a sale, I'm like, I know I'll stream that in 2 months, so I'll buy that now. So I started buying a few more extra games. But nonetheless, breaking down into that actual price, first of all, 43% of that budget was spent on Xbox, 24% was spent on PlayStation, only 7% on Switch, and 27% on Steam. But breaking it into physical and digital, it's £391 spent physically and £384 digitally, so pretty much 50% on both the types, which is surprising for me. Again, I think streaming's helped me go onto digital a bit more, because Steam obviously is all digital, and I've got 27% spent on actual Steam. Normally I wouldn't buy Steam games, because I've said a million times I don't like playing PC games in my office. I'd rather go downstairs and play on a console, but now I'm streaming up here, it's as easy to play a Steam game that it does a console. So anyway, that's the 2 physical and digital. But surprisingly enough, like I said, I spent £391 on physical. I actually made £307 on selling those games. So that's one of the reasons I can never give up on physical. It cost me 80 quid. At the £391 I spent on physical, it's only cost me 80. And that's with me actually having some of the games still yet to sell. I've not completed them, or some things like GTA that you'll never sell. You might as well just keep it on the shelf. So I think that's pretty damn good. But out of it, like I said, I've sold 307. £149 of that came out of gifts, so that's from presents at Christmas and birthdays, just random gifts from friends. And then at that, £273 of that came from Twitch contributions, so people doing donations and whatnot from actually Twitch. So my grand total of my gaming budget, which was starting at £775, comes down to 45 quid, which I think is fucking amazing. But I have to thank everyone that has actually supported me on Twitch, because you've helped bring that number right down. But at the same time, that's probably why I've purchased more digital games. When it's my money, I'm like, no, I don't want to buy digital unless it's the only way to buy it in that format. But with people contributing towards the channel, I'm like, I don't mind spending the money on digital now, because if you're willing to pay and you want me to play a particular game, I'll purchase it, because it is your money. So that's the breakdown of the games. Again, £775 is pretty damn fucking crazy to think that's how much I've actually spent on gaming. But moving on anyway, let's talk about the top 5 games I've played this year. So at number 5, I'm going to put in there Life is Strange Before the Storm. Now, I haven't actually played the last episode. It is out as the time of this video, but I'm waiting to actually stream that, so I'm waiting to come back off the holidays to do it. I've heard it's a very good ending anyway, so I'm not worried. But the reason I put it in at number 5 is because this year was the first year I actually played Life is Strange, the original game. I've finally got around to it and fell madly in love with that, to the point I would even potentially put that in my top list, and then someone would be like, but it didn't come out in 2017. I know. But Life is Strange and Before the Storm just does something to me when I play it. It's the mood, the music, the setting, the style, absolutely everything. When I get into it, it just makes me just feel calm and happy. And even when I leave the game, if I hear the music, it just instantly gives me joy in my brain. And I have completely fallen in love with it. So if you've not played Life is Strange, the first one, go get it. You can probably get it super cheap because the first episode is free, I think, on every format. And it's always on sale at the moment. So go buy Life is Strange because it's really a standout game for me. In at number 4 is something that people be like, well, it's not a proper game. It don't matter. I've purchased it this year. It come out this year. And that is PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG for short. PUBG was one of them games that I was so 50-50. I was flip-flopping all the time about buying it because I was worried that I wanted to play it online with the lads, but it's got permadeath in it, so when you die you can't just respawn back into it. You have to sit that round out and let the lads carry on playing if you're the first to die, for instance. So I was like, well, I don't know if I should get it, and I ended up folding, and I've had some of the most fun I've had in a game online with PUBG, because strangely enough I play a lot of online games with the lads. And this year is the year that we've played the least. I think it's because we kind of just got bored of the same stuff. It's always just shooting and grinding and getting a bit more XP to be able to then get a loot crate or to be able to get a unlock for a weapon. And we've done it a million times over, and I think it's just kind of killed our gaming. So half of this year we didn't play that much online. And now PUBG's here. All of us are back in the parties every single night. We're playing. I've done like 50 hours into it within the first like week and a half or something stupid, or 2 weeks. I'm so addicted to it. But the thing I like about it the most is because there is none of this bollocks of grinding. Or the only thing you take from that game is you play the round and you try to get better, and you can take that experience with you into the next round. So it's all in the brain. There's no physical system going, you got a bit of XP and a bit of better weapons, so now you're a better player. No, it's all in here. All you're getting from playing out that game is you're learning how to play better at that game. And I really like that, because sometimes if I'm busy, I'm working, I'm streaming, whatever it is, I'm worried that if the lads are all playing without me, I'll be like, oh, I'm going to be behind by a day. They're going to have this better loot, or unlock this, or got this perk, or gone somewhere on the map I've never seen before. Whereas PUBG is completely different. Every time that round ends, that's it. Whatever you got, the loot, all the goodies in that game is gone. And you start afresh every single game. And that, to me, is made us fall in love with it. And then combine that with the permadeath, it just makes you, because like on Battlefield, I'll go in, I'll be like shooting crazy, because I'll be going, I don't care if I die, because I'll be spawning back in 5 seconds. Within PUBG, I'm like, if I die now, I'm going to have to sit out for 20 minutes and wait for the guys to actually continue. So it makes you look after that life. It gives weight to it, which means when you get into actual gunfight, my heart goes crazy, because I'm going, oh, please don't die, please don't die. And I don't get that from any other games. So just because of that, that is definitely going in my top 4. Now at number 3 is just the beautiful, beautiful Cuphead. Now this is a game that actually shocked me how difficult it was, and I can understand a lot of people that got angry with Cuphead because they've been waiting for it for years and years and years. It finally comes out, and it's a fucking tough roll beast. But that's kind of one of the things that made me fall in love with it that bit more. When I first started playing it, I was like, wow, this is incredibly difficult. And then you bump into the bosses and you realise killing the bosses on normal is not good enough. You've got to beat them on hard to be able to progress in the game. And I was like, alright, this is going to be fucking difficult. So you got to get good. So it was, I do like a game when you have to just do it and do it and do it, and each time you're shaving a couple of seconds off or getting a bit more extra hits in there, and then when you beat it, that yes moment is so rewarding. And it's nice to get that because so many games now like, can we hold your hand and just take you all the way through this? It's very nice and easy. So to get a game that's fucking tough and really hard and where you bite your lips in anger and then you just get the ecstasy of going, I did it, to realise you've got to do it another 50 more times on another bosses. But it's just absolutely fantastic. So to me, these two guys are the heroes of gaming this year that made you realise games should be difficult. They should be rewarding when you manage to actually take down that boss, and for that I appreciate you, Cuphead. Now the top 1 and 2, I've changed it a few times, but I'm definitely happy with where I've landed on it now. So first of all, at number 2 is Horizon Zero Dawn. Now this game is just an absolute masterpiece. It's the game that made me buy a PlayStation back. I had a PlayStation at the early start of its life. I sold it because I wasn't playing many games on it, and then PlayStation's picked up now and it's got them exclusives. But all the time I'm like, them exclusives look nice, and when I get a PlayStation I will play those exclusives. But none of the exclusives made me go, you need to play this right now, until Horizon Zero Dawn came out, and I was like, that's it. I need to play this game right now. So I got a PlayStation, picked up Horizon Zero Dawn, and just fell in love with it. It was just a beautiful sandbox. I enjoyed the combat in it. To actually go around and sneak, it was nice to have a game where it's not like, go do all these missions. It was a case of going, there's some missions over there, there's some side quests over there, but there's just this sandbox you can just enjoy, go have fun. And because of that, it made me just spend a stupid amount of hours on it. Once I completed it, I sold it. I was like, that's done, that's fantastic, I'll probably buy that back when the DLC comes. And then something within my brain was going, you need to play that again. So I went out and brought the collector's edition. The only reason I got the collector's edition because it actually worked out cheaper than a normal edition on a stupid sale that was going on. So I got it back and I went through and I then got the, I was going to say 1000 Gs, but no, it's PlayStation, so I got the Platinum Trophy. And then I haven't purchased the DLC yet. I was waiting to see if I got it at Christmas. I didn't, so I'm going to be purchasing that anytime soon. But it's been fantastic. So Horizon Zero Dawn at number 2. And at number 1, the game that blew me away this year, and that is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, we got the Switch and we've been playing the Marios and stuff like that, and I've enjoyed the Switch, but when Zelda came out I was like, cool, I'll get it and I'll see what it's all about. I've never been a super Zelda fan. I didn't play them as a kid, which has put me at a disadvantage because a lot of people are like, oh, they're great, but they've got that nostalgia to them, and then when they go back and replay them, it's easier for them. Whereas if I go to try and play an older game now, and if I've got no previous knowledge of it or I didn't play it as a kid, it is a bit more jarring. I'm like, it's more difficult to actually play. But anyway, I jumped in with Legend of Zelda, and fucking hell, I couldn't put it down. I played it hours and hours and hours on end, and the entire thing, just from the missions, the way the actual menus work with your weapons break and you have to keep picking new ones up, and when you have a fight, should I use this weapon, the way the actual physics works in the world, where if lightning happens and you've got a metal sword on, it's going to electrocute you, all the finer details like that are fantastic. But it's also the world itself. I just think it's such a beautiful world. It feels like I'm running around Studio Ghibli or something like that. And I must have spent so many hours doing nothing. Just climbing up walls, exploring, finding what's actually around the corners. And it's an absolute dream of a game. And every time I hear just a sound effect, not even the music, just a sound effect from that game, if I'm watching something and I just hear bleep or something like that, it will make me go, I need to play that game again. That much so, I completed it, I put a good amount of hours into it. I was like, right, I'll leave that, and then one day I'll go back and buy the DLC and I'll enjoy it some more. And that day came about a month ago or so. I was like, you know what, it's time to get the DLC. So I booted it up and I thought, before I buy the DLC, I'm going to have a run around, get used to the controls again, and then I'll buy the DLC. And I'd never bought the DLC because I ran around and I was like, okay, I did do that, or I'm just going to go up. I never saw the top of that mountain. You get up there, you find another quest, you go off. Next minute, I'm playing the game again without having buying any DLC because there is so much content in that game. It's fantastic. So for me, Legend of Zelda, standout, the best game of 2017. So that just leaves us then with the consoles, which is obviously there's just the 3. So I'm going to go with what was the best console down to the worst, and for me it's the Switch. The Switch is something that I was always hoping would be good. I'm like, come on, Nintendo, do good. Because I thought if the Switch was going to be cack, after the cack of Wii U, and then if the Switch was poor, I was like, that's the death of Nintendo when it comes down to consoles, and they'll just have to excel in the handheld market as they always do. And when it came, I was like, and the other thing as well, when the Wii U came out, and it's like, you can do this, pew, 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 and all the silly gimmicks, I was like, cool, they're good, but I'm probably not going to enjoy them. But then when the Switch came out, it was like, oh, we've got a couple of these things. I'm like, yeah, gimmicks, but let me have a play. And when you play them, like, these are fucking awesome. And everything about it just feels absolutely brilliant. I prefer playing it as a console because I'm a console gamer, but I'll happily snap it out, go to play it as a handheld. It works perfectly. The only thing I can moan about it is the battery life seems to be weird. I think there's a weird glitch where the system itself doesn't fully know when it's at 100%. It will say it is, but that's not always the truth, and it seems like Nintendo is slightly addressing it, but kind of keeping it stum at the moment so it don't go to the mainstream media saying there's an issue. So the thing is, when a new version of it comes out, we'll probably ditch this one and buy another one. But to be fair, that's only affected Jo because she's a handheld gamer. I've not noticed it personally myself because I'm always plugged into the TV. But the Switch for me is just the best console because not only is it a cracking console, but they came out swinging this year. I was like, you've got to get some games out, and also you need to get that third-party exclusive, not exclusive, but get the third parties in because no one touched the Wii, and that was one of the reasons it died, the Wii U even. So for me, I was like, I want to see these third parties come in, and they've got them in. They're getting LA Noire and Doom and stuff like that. And granted, some people might be like, well, I don't care for them games. That's fine. Continue playing the Nintendo games, but if they can get everything on this system, more people will support it. It will then get more people buying it, and it will do them good. And I think they've done fantastic. Sales are really good. The amount of games that are on there are really, really good. And on top of it, their actual exclusives are really, really good. Even Snipper Clippers is just a random, like, a token game. Here you go, it's just something to be playing with the nunchucks. I fucking love that game to the point that I've got a friend, Matt, who's just purchased a Switch, and I had to send him a copy of it because I was like, this is a game you need to play. You might think it's just one of them fluff shovelware games that you would never get around to playing unless you see it for £2. You need to play Snipper Clippers because it's fucking fantastic. But anyway, that's the Switch for me, is the winner of 2017. So who comes in at number 2? It's PlayStation. The reason being is PlayStation have just done okay. They've released more exclusive games, that's good. And Xbox, in my opinion, have just done very poor this year. Xbox has released the Xbox One X, so the 4K console, and I didn't purchase it. I don't think I'll ever purchase it. If my console goes pop, I'll probably get the 4K model. But until then, I have no reason to. But I was saving for it. And I was expecting them to go, pow, here is these awesome games that are going to come out with it, and this graphics porn. And I know it's not about graphics, but the point is, if you're buying a console that's designed to show off the raw graphics of these games, you need a game to show off the graphics of that console. And they just didn't do it. It was like, here's Lucky Tales. That's fucking it. You launched a console with one kids game, and I'm not going to say it's a kids game, you shouldn't play it. I've got it downstairs, it looks fantastic, I'll be playing that later today. But the point is, I just feel like to launch the world's most powerfulest console with nothing on it, it would have even made sense for them to have Forza and delay it by a month so it was on the launch day of the console to justify that as one of the launch titles. But they didn't. They released it a month before. So everything that they've done has made me go, I don't know why you did that. And then at E3 this year, it was piss for Xbox. There is no exclusives that have made me super excited. Granted, you got Sea of Thieves, that looks really, really good. Aside from that, it seems like Xbox, because they've got the games. I believe there is some games in the work. I believe that Fable's going to be in the works. It's suicide for them to not do Fable. But I feel like this year they're playing the cards close to the chest because they lost Scalebound, I think it was. And Philip, I was going to call him Philip DeFranco then. But Phil Spencer says that because he got everyone hyped for it and then it ended up getting canned, they don't want to get people excited for games until they're in the final stages. And I can kind of see where he's coming from, but that's not fucking good when it comes down to the PR. You want to get people excited for the games that are coming out in the next year and 2 years to encourage them to keep supporting that console. And for me, if somebody comes up to me and they're like, oh, should I get a PlayStation or Xbox? Mine would be like, get a PlayStation. Have you seen the lineup of exclusives that are coming around the next year and the year after? They look fantastic. As for Xbox, there's 1 or 2 titles, but PlayStation is where it's at when it comes to the exclusives. So for me, Xbox has just been so underwhelming this year. I've still bought the most games on the Xbox, and it's the console that I've played the most on. But I'm so disappointed in Xbox. So I want to see them this year at E3 just come out swinging and go, here's all these exclusives that we've been keeping quiet about. And also, here's fucking Fable 4. So yes, Switch, fantastic. You've done better than I expected. PlayStation, you're continuing to do as good as I expected. And Xbox, this year wasn't your finest, son. So that's me done and dusted. It says 21 minutes on the camera. I hope it's not going to be that long and I can cut it down a little bit. So that's me done for this year. Hopefully we're doing more videos in the new year. I'm definitely doing more videos on my Tinkering Tom channel, which is my DIY channel, so I'll link that down below. And also for anyone that's interested in either one, seeing the games that I've actually purchased, you can go to jurassicjunkie.com and click on my 2017 gaming report. You can see exactly what I purchased and how much it cost me. If you would like to be able to have these kind of stats for yourself, I'm actually working with a friend on a very detailed game tracking planner, which we're going to be launching next year. So if you do want something like this, I would say start writing down in a little text file all the games that you're actually purchasing, when you've purchased them, how much they cost, and just keep saving them, because hopefully we're going to be launching it around about March, so you'll have to save some of the stuff manually yourself and then input it later. But if you want it, fingers crossed, we should be able to give it you around about March. So apart from that, I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope you've had some great gaming this year, and fingers crossed next year is going to be even better. And if you ever do fancy watching me either squeal like a girl while playing computer games or having a laugh online, I do now stream on twitch.tv/jurassicjunkie live if you ever want to check me out on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday after about 8 o'clock, I think it is. So that's me done and dusted, guys. I hope you've had a cracking year, and I hope next year is even better. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Cheers. Bye.